Hi, welcome to Blindowl Outdoors. We hope you enjoy our channel, and if possible, could you please join our Patreon page? We really need your help. It's been a long, hard road. Thank you. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Dan. I'm here in the Philippines on the Island of Bohol. Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm out here in the car. Kind of nice out here. There's no mosquitoes, no flies, no noise. Turn the air conditioner on and off as I feel like it. Right now it's off. That's why it's real quiet. I thought I'd do a couple little knife videos. I did a whole bunch of them down in the shop the other day, and I can't find them. They didn't turn on the chip, so here we go. Let's try something new here. My first video will be about a very special knife that's not to use for only one thing. It can be used for anything because it's a knife, but its main thing is it's a fillet knife. Now this is I can't think of the name of this one here. Mitroni or something like that. I can't see it. I can't see in the dark. It's a Swedish knife. Now this is kind of special because this was my dad, my family ran a greenhouse, and my dad's manager, his dad was a master fisherman in the Mississippi River. He only kept walleyes. That's all he fished in the wing dams and stuff. This knife was his personal knife. He probably cleaned, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of walleyes over 25 years with this knife right here. It's so cool. And a nice heavy duty sheath. The little thing with the little loop on it's broken off and everything, but it's such a cool knife, and it's very, you can see it, very, very flexible blade. Absolutely top of the line. But it's a Swedish knife. And this is a knife, Swedish knife that no one even heard of Swedish knives back in the 60s. You know, not here anyway. Not in Dubuque, Iowa. Okay. The next fillet knife is, I found this in a pawn shop in Dubuque, Iowa. No sheath or anything like that. And it's Uncle Henry knife. Anytime I ever saw Uncle Henry knife from the 60s and 70s, I'd pick it up because they're fabulous, guaranteed for life. The Uncle Henrys had a neat thing on them where it came with a, I don't even want to call it in the literature with it, came with a thing that you could fill it out and send it back to the company. If you lost the knife or it got stolen, they would replace it for you for free. Think how many people just cheated and ordered a new knife. But this one's really cool. Now this one here is very different. Now this one here has a, if you can see there, it has a little flexible in the tip, but the rest of the blade is just stiff as can be. I don't know what the advantage of that would be. Maybe for bigger fish, maybe for salmon or something like that. I don't know. And it's got the fake antler handle on it. I put a little lanyard on it. I've had this one knife here for, I've been here in the Philippines for 21 years, so I had this knife here for 40 years or more. Nice knife. And then when I got here, I made a little sheath out of PVC for it, and it holds it perfectly. Very, very handy. Very nice knife. My dad sent me a commercial fillet knife that he got down on the docks near Fort Myers, Florida. I don't know the brand of it. It says made in Sweden on it. It's been ground down 1,000,000 times. And this is like beyond flexible. You know, made for cleaning ocean fish, I guess. But such a cool thing. It came from Gator Sharp. The name of the company. I think they're used commercial knives. But he saw it somewhere and picked it up for me. I like it because my dad gave it to me. It's pretty cool. Here's a knife I bought back in the mid late 70s. This is a Normark fillet knife, a folding fillet knife, which I thought was so cool. Fairly flexible blade, not too bad. But I thought this was so cool because it was a folding knife, and I could just throw it in my pack real easy, or throw it in my pocket or whatever I want to do, you know. But really nice. It comes with a nice little camouflage case. Fantastic little knife. Now, my very best fillet knife that I bought when I'd say I bought this in 1973. There was a guy that lived next to our greenhouse that worked at John Deere, and he got off about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he'd go fishing every day. And during the summertime, you know, I worked at the greenhouse, but he would see me and say, "Hey, let's go fishing." I asked my dad, "It's okay?" And yeah, to kick off with the guy. And he taught me how to walleye fish and fish off the dam, off the shore and stuff like that. And his name was Jack Zillig. And what was really cool about Jack was every fish that he got on his line, he could tell you within about 4 or 5 seconds what kind of fish it was before he reeled it in, just by what it did. It's kind of neat. But I went with him fishing once or twice, and he showed me some you know what to do, and got me the jigs and all that. You know, back then we used feather jigs, and then we eventually got to the little rubber tail things. But that with Jack, it was just the lead jigs with the feathers on them, because they didn't have that. The other kind wasn't even invented yet or even around. But after I think it was the second time, he goes, you know, you need to get yourself a fillet knife. And so I went out looking for it, and I found a hardware store that carried a lot of buck stuff, and I found a buck number 123. So I've had this knife since 1973. Absolutely fabulous knife. Nice long blade on it. Very, very flexible. Has a rubber handle on it. It does not rust. I've had it here in the Philippines for 21 years. There's not a spot of rust on it. All my other knives rust. Not this one, though. Whatever kind of steel it is, not the regular 420 steel that Buck uses. It's got a real nice sheath, heavy duty, still has the belt loop still on it. It's got a plastic liner inside of it. You know, I think I probably paid about $20 for this back then, which is a lot of money for a kid, you know, 12-year-old kid to be buying a knife, but it's stuck with me ever since then. Absolutely fabulous knife. Got the little finger grooves in it. And I learned how to fillet fish from a master when I was a kid, so I can fillet a fish today or whenever I need to. And I would never eat a fish with bones in anyway. You couldn't pay me to. But that's my selection of fillet knives. Now, there are better fillet knives. I don't think you can find a better fillet knife than that Buck, but there are fancier knives. There are commercial fillet knives you can buy. There's probably 100 different companies out there that sell them. You can buy used commercial knives. A good commercial knife, probably going to cost about $50, I think, for a good fillet knife. Something like someone would be using on a fishing boat, you know, like in Washington or someplace like that. So you get what you pay for. I'm real happy with all the ones I have. My buck fillet knife's cleaned hundreds of fish in its lifetime since I've had it. Because I was a big fisherman back in Iowa. We fished from shore for till I was in my 30s. I never fished in a boat ever. I never had a boat. And then from 30 to 40 years old, I had a nice cabin cruiser, and we'd fish in that all the time. That was really cool. But I caught lots and lots and lots of fish, let me tell you. And myself, I'm a cat fisherman. I like catching catfish. I was never a walleye fisherman, but I caught a lot of walleyes. But I keep almost anything we'd ever catch except for bass. I never had any fondness for a largemouth bass. Caught a few of them, but I just throw those back. Smallmouth bass I keep. Those are always really good eating. We catch those on the creeks and stuff all around. Iowa has, like, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say about 86,000 miles of rivers and streams in the state of Iowa. It's an absolutely incredible number. The first time I ever heard that number was, I heard Alabama had 72,000 miles of rivers and streams, and coastline too, but the coastline's not much in Alabama. And I thought, wow, that'd be a great place to go fishing, you know, to maybe go move down there because it's pretty warm, and maybe bring my wife and kid over and stuff. And then I looked up for that figure in Iowa, and Iowa was way more than that. I was really surprised. But Iowa's really big. Iowa's way bigger than you think it is. And there's rivers and streams and creeks and everything you can imagine all over the place. Lots and lots and lots of lakes too. They don't count lakes into that. And tens of thousands of ponds and farms, which are also another great place to go fishing. My other big passion back in Iowa was snapping turtles. I used to put out lines when I go to work, and I hang out lines on branches, and big stainless steel hooks, and I put a piece of stew meat on there, because every other bait I ever used would get eaten by all the little fish, but the stew meat the little fish wouldn't eat. And then I go check the lines after I got off work on my way home, and almost every day I'd catch a snapping turtle, sometimes 3 or 4 of them. The biggest one I ever caught was about 25 pounds, huge. And I never even ate them. I just used to take them home, and I put them in barrels and stuff, and I clean them all out, you know, get the mud out of them, and I'd give them away to people. There was actually a place right across the river that would actually buy all you could give them. There's a restaurant there in Wisconsin. But what was it called? The 3 Mile House or something like that. And every Friday they had snapping turtle was one of their specials. But I'd give them away to people, and people just loved them. People just love snapping turtles. There's supposed to be 7 different flavors of meat on a snapping turtle, if you can imagine that. But I used to save the shells, and I'd polish them all up, and then I'd put a clock on the outside of the shell and varnish it all up. I sell those at craft shows and things like that. I used to save their skulls. Their skulls you see all the bumps and stuff on their skin, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it looks, you know, a reptile. But all those bumps are all on their skull, which is kind of neat. And then what I thought was the most impressive thing was when you dried the skulls out, you could see their eardrums and stuff in there, and it's just pretty interesting, you know, and the beak and stuff like that. And you know, get a big one, they can snap a broom handle. You know, I've got bitten by them a couple of different times, but I was lucky every time I had a rubber glove on and never got hurt, but you know, scared the shit out of me quite a few times. Well, I'll let you guys go, and take care, and hope you enjoyed the fillet knives. I got a pile of knives on my seat here. I'll do a couple more videos. Take care. Thanks for watching. Take care.